Hi, my name's Andy Anderson, and I'm going to be showing today a few of the techniques I use to teach students some of the basics of bass playing. I'm hoping that I'll be able to put some ideas out there that might help teachers when they've exhausted their own repertoire of tricks to get people to do the right technique. And, you know, this is a way that we can share our own ideas on how to teach. One of the first places to start, of course, is holding the bass. I prefer standing. Some people sit. In general, I try to have the nut of the bass, which is the part right here, somewhere between my eyebrows and my hairline. That's a general idea on how the height should be. The position of the bass, some people playing sitting like to sit behind the instrument, or having it like a 45 degree with the body, or I've even seen some people, and this is the way I started, was being able to hold it without my hands and just balance it on your gut, kind of perpendicular to your body. If you're going to play standing, I recommend kind of a left-handed fencing pose, where if you can imagine yourself holding a sword in your left hand, your left foot's going to be slightly forward in kind of an athletic stance, and hopefully you can incorporate your left knee against the bottom of your instrument to kind of manage the turning out of the face of the instrument. Once your student's able to kind of hold the bass comfortably, preferably without either hand kind of grabbing it to make sure it doesn't fall over, you need to make sure that both hands can reach all the way down the fingerboard, preferably pretty close to the bridge. Sometimes if you're going to go down with both hands, like moving to the end of the fingerboard, you're going to want to take your left leg and step back. And it'll look something like this, so that you can set the bass kind of on your shoulder up here, and that way you can really reach down and grab all the way to the end of the fingerboard. Once your student is able to comfortably move their hand up and down the fingerboard without the bass being clunky or feeling like it's going to fall out of their hand, then you're generally going to have to put the left hand of the bass on the bass. And I do that by kind of pretending I'm holding a can of soda or something like that. And basically the same way my fingers are going to be curved for holding that or a glass of water, I'm going to try to have all the fingers curved the same way and just put it on the bass. One of the basic principles I use to holding an instrument like this is that all of your joints, all of your moving parts should be somewhere in the middle of their range of motion. You want to avoid the extremes. You want to avoid having your fingers all the way extended or having them all the way curved, or bent backwards is one of the worst things. There's occasions where you're going to break those rules, but as their standard default holding position, even the way you hold the bow, the way you hold the left hand, the way you hold your back and your legs, everything should be in a nice, comfortable, round position. Now, when I wasn't originally taught this way, I kind of came to it over many years of study, and this, I kind of keep both my hands as if I'm wearing mittens. The back three fingers are going to be pretty close together on each hand, and the first finger and the thumb are going to be kind of independent. And what it looks like in the left hand, and the reason it looks like that, is because down here generally we don't use our third finger, and so what I'm trying to accomplish is that I'm going to have an equal length of string between each finger. And it will gradually get smaller as you go down. But what you want to avoid is this kind of basic where you have these two fingers centered between the outer fingers. Because if I take the third away, you'll notice this space is bigger than that one. And that's a common problem. So to compensate for that, I just make sure I tell the student, make sure there's an equal length of string between the fingers you are using. Sometimes I'll have a student who has particularly difficult time getting the hand to be comfortable in this type of a position, with everything rounded and with the equal spacing, and they'll inevitably, when they go to their first finger, all the fingers will come back to help. And at first I like to, if they are having a lot of difficulty with it, I do what my father did to me, which was he rubber banded my middle two fingers together like this, and then he would also kind of attach my pinky finger like this. And then that forced me to kind of keep this shape. One of the other ways, if you don't want to use the rubber band, there's lots of reasons not to, and that's that a lot of times your fingers turn purple after a few minutes, which can be a little disconcerting. Is you can actually just take a Pops rosin container, and put it like this between the first and second fingers, and it seems to work just about right. And a lot of times it helps them to feel the amount of the stretch, the openness of the first two fingers. And again, having a can or a glass or some cylindrical object that you can put in someone's hand a lot of times forces them to feel not only that the fingers are curved and rounded, but also that the thumb is rounded as well.